This video demonstrates an interference problem you can get when you try and connect a DR-60D recorder to an EOS70D SLR camera. So here's the test setup I'm using to demonstrate this interference. There's the Canon EOS70D camera on the top there and a Tascam DR-60D recorder below, bolted together with a bracketry that's supplied and a Rode NTG1 microphone. The camera recording menu set with manual recording, and the recording levels at the middle, and all the attenuators are switched off. This is the cable we're using between the two items. It's just a regular 3.5mm stereo lead, been used in other positions, works quite well. The signal level from the recorder into the camera is adjusted by this control here, and I've found by experiment that a level of 8 out of the 10 is a good one to set it to and get a consistent slate between the two devices. So I apply a slate tone here, and it looks like the green dot on the back of the EOS70D indicates minus 12 dB. The problem is when I switch the slate off, there's still some background noise apparently getting into the camera from the recorder, and you can see those bars on the meters there. And that's what's triggered off this investigation. It's noticeable that if I disconnect the cable from the recorder but leave it connected into the camera, we get this indication where there's virtually no input at all. There's a single dot there. That's probably more of a placeholder than an actual level indicator. So thinking that it might be some form of ground loop interference, I put in this isolation transformer box between the two devices. That's got two separate transformers in, just one-to-one transformers to galvanically isolate the system. So I'm now going to look at some test recordings that I did with both machines linked together, and I'm going to look at those on the Sony Movie Studio workstation. First of all, some calibration, and interestingly you'll notice that you get the same slate on both the left and right channels of the DR-60D, which have been set to 12 dB difference with safety recording, and you can see that the camera actually gets only the left channel but duplicated on left and right, so a bit peculiar there. But here we can see that we've got minus 12 dB on each of those tones. And I'm going to just look at the camera as the left channel only, makes it easier. So now we'll listen to the sound on different devices with different connections. Right, I'm going to go for silence. That's nominal silence. I'm going to turn the volume down on the microphone completely. Now, just for the sake of interest, that's right down, but in fact it's still not completely off. I'll bring it back up again, and that's using the isolator. Okay, gone to the internal microphones for a moment. Now I'm going to plug in the thing there. That's nominal quiet. I'm going to turn the microphone level right down. And then back to the isolator. So my observations from these tests are that when an EOS70D is mounted on top of a DR-60D via its supplied bracket and screw, interference is induced into the camera's external microphone input line, presumably as a ground loop. The interference is however not present when the two devices are operated a few inches apart. So I'd conclude from these tests that separately locating the EOS70D from the DR-60D reduces the inter-unit interference and allows the use of a regular 3.5mm stereo cable. If circumstances dictate that an EOS70D must be mounted onto a DR-60D using its supplied hardware, which is a less than ideal arrangement due to the build-up of spring and consequent loss of stability, an isolating audio lead is required. Now this is a real pity, and in my view it reduces the intended utility of the system.